parents secretly used my credit card to book a $15,000 Europe trip for my golden child sister. So, I reported it as fraud, causing a huge family drama that made me go no contact. I never thought I'd be writing a post like this, but here I am, still in shock and disbelief over what my parents have done. I'm Alex, 28M, and I have a younger sister, Emma, 22F, who just graduated from college. Our parents have always been, let's say, interesting in their approach to parenting, but this latest stunt has left me angry. To give you some context, I've always been the responsible one in the family. I worked hard through school, got scholarships, and landed a good job in finance right out of college. I've been financially independent since I was 22, and I'm proud of what I've accomplished. Emma, on the other hand, has always been the baby of the family. Don't get me wrong, I love my sister, but she's definitely been coddled by her parents. Growing up, it was always clear that Emma was the favorite. She got the newest clothes, the latest gadgets, and was never expected to get a part-time job or contribute to household chores. I tried not to let it bother me too much, focusing instead on my own goals and future. But sometimes, the favoritism was hard to ignore. I remember one particular incident when I was 16 and Emma was 10. I had been saving up for months to buy a new gaming console. The day I finally had enough money, I excitedly told my parents I was going to the store to buy it. To my shock, they said, "Oh, we already bought one for Emma last week. You can share hers." I was devastated, but I swallowed my disappointment and tried to be happy for my sister. Anyway, fast forward to the present. Emma just graduated with a degree in communications. I'm genuinely proud of her. She worked hard and deserves to celebrate her achievement. I even sent her a nice graduation gift, a new laptop she had been eyeing. Last week, I got a call from my mom. She was bubbling with excitement, telling me how they had planned the perfect graduation gift for Emma, a month-long tour of Europe. I was happy for Emma, thinking it was a generous gift from our parents. But then came the bombshell. "We used your credit card to book it all," my mom said casually, as if it was the most normal thing in the world. "We'll pay you back, of course, but we needed the points from your card to upgrade some of the flights and hotels." I was speechless. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. When I finally found my voice, I asked how much they had spent. The answer made me feel like I'd been punched in the gut. $15,000. $15,000 on my credit card, without my knowledge or consent. "Mom," I said, trying to keep my voice steady, "you can't just use my credit card without asking me. That's illegal. And $15,000 is a lot of money." She brushed off my concerns. "Oh, don't be so dramatic, Alex. It's for your sister's graduation. We're family, and family helps each other out. Besides, we're good for it. We'll pay you back eventually." Eventually? What did that even mean? And since when was $15,000 something to be casual about? I tried to explain to my mom why this was such a big deal, the impact on my credit score, the fact that I might need the credit limit for emergencies, the sheer violation of trust, but she wasn't hearing it. "You've always been so selfish," she said, her tone turning cold. "Can't you just be happy for your sister? This is her big moment, and you're trying to ruin it with your penny-pinching ways." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was being called selfish for being upset about an unauthorized $15,000 charge on my credit card? I ended the call, feeling a mix of anger, hurt, and disbelief. Over the next few days, I tried to talk to my dad, hoping he might be more reasonable. But he echoed my mom's sentiments, telling me I was overreacting and that I should be more supportive of my sister. Emma, for her part, seemed oblivious to the whole situation. When I tried to talk to her about it, she just gushed about how excited she was for the trip and thanked me for contributing to her graduation gift. I felt like I was going crazy. Was I really the unreasonable one here? I decided to call the credit card company to dispute the charges, but to my horror, I discovered that my parents had used my card details that they had in case of emergencies to book everything online. The credit card company said that since I had given them my details, it wasn't considered fraud. Now, I'm stuck with a $15,000 bill, a maxed-out credit card, and a family who thinks I'm being selfish for not wanting to fund my sister's extravagant vacation. I'm hurt, angry, and feeling betrayed by the people who are supposed to love and support me. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to cancel the whole trip, but I know that would cause a huge family rift. Another part of me wants to just pay it off to avoid the drama, but $15,000 is a lot of money, and the principle of the thing really bothers me. Plus, I'm worried that if I let this slide, it'll set a precedent for future financial abuse. Am I overreacting? Should I just suck it up and pay for my sister's vacation? Or should I stand my ground, even if it means potentially damaging my relationship with my family? I feel lost and could really use some advice. Update 1. Thank you all for your supportive comments and advice. I was honestly shocked by the overwhelming response to my post. Reading through your comments made me realize that I wasn't crazy for feeling violated and angry about this situation. Taking your advice, I decided to take action. First, I called my credit card company again and escalated the issue. I explained the situation in detail, emphasizing that while my parents had my card details for emergencies, I had never authorized this specific use. After some back and forth, they agreed to investigate the charges as potential fraud. Next, I sent a group text to my parents and Emma, asking for a family Zoom call to discuss the situation. I wanted to give them a chance to make this right before taking more drastic measures. The call was intense, to say the least. I started by calmly explaining why their actions were not okay, the legal implications, the breach of trust, and the financial strain it put on me. I told them I had reported the charges as fraudulent and that they needed to cancel the trip immediately. My parents' reaction was not what I hoped for. They were indignant, accusing me of being dramatic and trying to ruin Emma's graduation celebration. My mom went as far as to say, "We raised you, clothed you, and put a roof over your head. The least you could do is help give your sister the trip of a lifetime." I took a deep breath and replied, "You chose to have children. Providing for us was your responsibility as parents. It doesn't mean you get to commit credit card fraud in my name." Emma, who had been quiet until this point, suddenly burst into tears. "I can't believe you're trying to ruin my graduation gift," she sobbed. "You've always been jealous of me. Why can't you just be happy for me for once?" Her words stung, but they also strengthened my resolve. I realized that this pattern of entitlement and favoritism ran deep, and it was time to set some firm boundaries. "Emma," I said, trying to keep my voice gentle but firm, "I'm happy for you. I'm proud of your graduation. But this trip was booked illegally, using my money without my permission. It's not a gift from me, and it's not okay." My dad, who had been uncharacteristically quiet, finally spoke up. "Son, we didn't think it was such a big deal. We've always had access to your card for emergencies. We just thought, as family, it would be okay this one time." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Dad, $15,000 is not a small amount. And this was not an emergency. You can't just decide to spend my money without asking me." The call ended with my parents angry, Emma in tears, and me feeling drained but resolute. They refused to cancel the trip, insisting that I was overreacting and that they would pay me back soon. After the call, I took the next step. I contacted a lawyer friend of mine and explained the situation. He advised me that what my parents did was indeed illegal and that I had grounds for legal action if I chose to pursue it. I also went to the police station and filed a report about the unauthorized use of my credit card. The officer I spoke to was sympathetic and took down all the details. He warned me that pursuing charges would likely cause a major rift in my family, but also assured me that I was well within my rights to do so. I'm still torn about what to do next. On one hand, I love my family and the thought of taking legal action against them makes me feel sick. On the other hand, their behavior is unacceptable, and I'm worried that if I don't take a strong stand now, this kind of thing might happen again in the future. For now, I've decided to wait and see what comes of the credit card company's investigation. I've also frozen my credit to prevent any further unauthorized use of my information. This whole situation has made me realize that I need to establish stronger boundaries with my family. I've always tried to be the peacekeeper, to smooth things over and keep everyone happy. But in doing so, I've allowed myself to be taken advantage of time and time again. I'm hurt and angry, but I'm also feeling a strange sense of empowerment. For the first time, I'm standing up for myself and saying no, this is not okay. It's uncomfortable and scary, but it also feels necessary. Thank you all again for your support and advice. I'll update again once I have more news about the credit card investigation or if anything else develops with my family. Update 2. It's been a couple of weeks since my last update, and a lot has happened. I want to thank everyone again for their support and advice. Your comments have been a source of strength during this difficult time. First, the good news: the credit card company's investigation concluded in my favor. They agreed that the charges were indeed unauthorized and have reversed them. It's a huge relief to have that $15,000 burden lifted from my shoulders. Now, for the family fallout. When my parents and Emma found out that the trip had been canceled due to the credit card chargeback, all hell broke loose. My phone was flooded with angry calls and texts. My mom left a particularly nasty voicemail, calling me a selfish, ungrateful son and saying I had ruined Emma's life. Emma took to social media, posting a tearful video about how her cruel brother had destroyed her dream graduation trip. Some of our mutual friends and extended family members started reaching out, asking why I was being so mean to my little sister. The situation was getting out of hand, and I realized I needed to set the record straight. I wrote a calm, factual post explaining what had really happened, how my card had been used without my permission, and how I had tried to resolve things with my family before taking action with the credit card company. The response to my post was mixed. Some people were supportive, expressing shock at my parents' actions. Others still felt I should have just taken one for the team and let Emma have her trip. It was eye-opening to see how many people thought it was okay to commit fraud as long as it was for family. A few days after my post, I received a surprising call from my aunt, my mom's sister. She was sympathetic to my situation and shared some family history I hadn't known before. Apparently, my mom had a pattern of financial irresponsibility and had taken advantage of family members in the past. My aunt encouraged me to stand my ground and offered her support. This conversation with my aunt made me realize that the issue ran deeper than just this one incident. It was a pattern of behavior that had been enabled and excused for years. I knew then that I had to maintain firm boundaries, not just for my own sake, but to break this cycle of financial abuse. I decided to take a big step. I told my parents that I would be going no contact with them for the foreseeable future. I explained that I needed time to process what had happened and that I couldn't trust them right now. I also told Emma that while I loved her and was proud of her achievements, I needed some space from her as well. Their reactions were predictably negative. My parents accused me of tearing the family apart. Emma cried and said I was punishing her for something that wasn't her fault. It was hard, but I stood firm in my decision. In the midst of all this family drama, I've been focusing on protecting myself from future financial abuse. I've changed all my passwords, closed the credit card my parents had access to, and opened a new one at a different bank. I've also started seeing a therapist to work through my feelings about the situation and to develop healthier boundaries. One unexpected positive outcome of this whole ordeal is that it's brought me closer to my aunt and a couple of cousins who reached out to offer support. It's nice to know that not everyone in my family thinks what my parents did was okay. As for Emma's graduation trip, I heard through the family grapevine that my parents still thinking of sending her somewhere. Part of me feels guilty about her missing out on the Europe trip, but I keep reminding myself that it wasn't my responsibility to provide that for her. I'm still struggling with feelings of guilt and doubt. There are moments when I wonder if I did the right thing, if I was too harsh. But then I remember the violation I felt when I discovered what they had done, and I know I made the right choice in standing up for myself. This experience has been a harsh wake-up call, but it's also been an important lesson in self-respect and setting boundaries. I'm learning that it's okay to say no, even to family, and that love shouldn't come with a price tag. Thank you all again for your support. I'll update if there are any significant developments, but for now, I'm focusing on healing and moving forward. Update 3. It's been about 2 months since my last update, and I wanted to share some developments with you all. Your continued support and advice have been invaluable during this challenging time. First, let me address the most pressing issue, the legal situation. After much consideration and consultation with my lawyer, I decided not to press charges against my parents. This decision wasn't easy, and I know many of you advised me to take legal action. However, my lawyer pointed out that since the credit card company had reversed the charges, pursuing a criminal case would be complicated and potentially costly, with no guarantee of success. Instead, we've sent a formal cease and desist letter to my parents, warning them that any future attempts to use my financial information will result in immediate legal action. Now, onto the family situation. The no-contact period with my parents and Emma has been both challenging and enlightening. It's given me time to reflect on our family dynamics and to work on myself. I've been consistently attending therapy, which has been incredibly helpful in processing my emotions and developing healthier boundaries. About a month into the no-contact period, I received an unexpected email from Emma. Unlike her previous tearful accusations, this email was surprisingly mature. She wrote that she had done a lot of thinking and realized how wrong our parents' actions were. She apologized for her initial reaction and for not standing up for me. Emma admitted that she had always known about the favoritism but had been too scared and comfortable to challenge it. I was cautiously optimistic about Emma's email but decided to take things slow. We've had a few phone conversations since then, and I can see she's genuinely trying to understand my perspective. She shared some of her own experiences with our parents' financial irresponsibility, which she'd previously kept to herself. It seems the canceled Europe trip was a wake-up call for her too. As for my parents, they've been less willing to accept responsibility. They've made several attempts to contact me, ranging from angry voicemails to guilt-tripping emails. My mom even showed up at my apartment unannounced one day, causing quite a scene in the hallway. I stood my ground and refused to engage, which was difficult but necessary. The extended family situation has been mixed. Some relatives have been supportive, particularly my aunt who initially reached out. She's become a valuable ally and source of support. Others, however, continue to pressure me to reconcile with my parents, using the but their family argument. I've had to distance myself from some of these relatives for my own peace of mind. On a more positive note, this situation has led to some unexpected personal growth. With the time and energy I used to spend managing my family's drama, I've been able to focus more on my own life and goals. I've taken up a new hobby, photography, and have been spending more time with friends who respect my boundaries. I've also made some significant financial decisions. I've increased my contributions to my retirement accounts and started building a more robust emergency fund. This whole experience has really driven home the importance of financial independence and security. One particularly satisfying moment came last week. I received a promotion at work, which came with a substantial pay raise. In the past, I might have felt obligated to share this news, and the financial benefits, with my family. This time, I celebrated quietly with a few close friends, feeling proud of my accomplishments without any guilt or pressure to share. As for Emma's graduation trip, I heard through my aunt that our parents ended up sending her on a 2-week tour of California. Emma apparently enjoyed it. Looking ahead, I'm cautiously optimistic. I've decided to extend the no-contact period with my parents for at least another 3 months. I need more time to heal and to see if they're capable of respecting my boundaries. With Emma, I'm open to slowly rebuilding our relationship, but I'm proceeding with caution and maintaining clear boundaries. This experience has taught me a lot about setting limits, standing up for myself, and the true meaning of family. I've realized that family isn't just about blood relations, but about mutual respect, support, and love. The friends and relatives who have stood by me through this ordeal have shown me what real family looks like. I've also learned a valuable lesson about financial independence. I've always been good with money, but this situation has pushed me to be even more vigilant. I've set up additional security measures on all my accounts and have become more assertive in protecting my financial information, even from family members. There have been moments of doubt and sadness, especially during family events that I've missed due to the no-contact policy. Mother's Day was particularly difficult. But I remind myself that this separation is necessary for my mental health and personal growth. One unexpected outcome of this situation is that I've become something of a resource for friends dealing with their own family financial issues. Several people have reached out to me for advice on setting boundaries and dealing with financially irresponsible family members. It feels good to be able to help others navigate similar situations. As for my parents' financial situation, I've heard through my aunt that they're struggling. Apparently, they had been counting on using my credit for more than just Emma's trip. This has led to some arguments between them, with my dad blaming my mom for pushing too far with the credit card fraud. Part of me feels guilty, knowing they're having financial difficulties. But I remind myself that their poor financial decisions are not my responsibility to fix. Emma has shared some insights into our parents' reaction to all of this. She says they still don't fully understand why I reacted so strongly. They see their actions as a normal part of being a family and can't comprehend why I'm making such a big deal out of it. This lack of understanding is frustrating, but it also reinforces that I made the right decision in distancing myself. I've been doing a lot of reflection on my childhood and early adulthood, recognizing patterns of financial and emotional manipulation that I had normalized. It's been a painful process, but also a liberating one. I'm learning to validate my own feelings and experiences without seeking approval from my parents. In terms of my personal life, I've started dating again. I had been hesitant to get involved with anyone while dealing with all this family drama, but I recently met someone who's been incredibly understanding about my situation. It's early days, but it feels good to be building a connection with someone who respects my boundaries and values. I'm also considering making some big life changes. I've always wanted to pursue a master's degree, but I put it off, partly due to concerns about how it would impact my ability to help my family financially. Now, I'm seriously looking into programs and considering taking the plunge. It feels empowering to be making decisions based solely on what's best for me and my future. As I write this update, I'm struck by how much has changed in just a few months. The initial shock and anger have faded, replaced by a sense of calm determination. I'm no longer just reacting to my family's actions, I'm proactively shaping the life I want for myself. To those of you who might be dealing with similar family issues, I want to say, it gets better. Setting boundaries is hard, and there may be backlash, but stay strong. You have the right to protect yourself, your finances, and your mental health. Thank you all again for your support throughout this journey. Your advice and encouragement have been a lifeline. I'm not sure what the future holds for my relationship with my parents and sister, but I know that whatever happens, I'll be okay. I'm stronger now, more sure of myself, and ready to face whatever comes next. I'll update again if there are any significant developments, but for now, I'm focused on moving forward and building the life I want, surrounded by people who respect and support me. Here's to new beginnings and hard-earned wisdom. Update 4. It's been 6 months since my last update, and I felt it was time to share the latest developments with all of you who have been so supportive throughout this journey. First, the biggest news: I've been accepted into a master's program in a city about 3 hours away from where I currently live. It's a 2-year program in financial technology, which aligns perfectly with my career goals. I start this fall, and I'm equal parts excited and nervous about this new chapter in my life. The decision to pursue this degree was not easy. It means leaving my job, moving to a new city, and taking on some student loans. But it also means investing in myself and my future in a way I've always wanted to. I realized that I had been holding myself back, always considering how my decisions would impact my family. Now, I'm making choices based on what's best for me, and it feels incredibly liberating. As for my family situation, things have evolved in ways I didn't expect. The no-contact period with my parents officially ended 2 months ago. I agreed to a family therapy session, mediated by a professional therapist. It was intense. My parents came in defensive, still insisting that they had done nothing wrong. But as the session progressed, some surprising truths came to light. It turns out my dad had lost a significant amount of money in a bad investment, which he had hidden from everyone, including my mom. They had been secretly struggling financially for months and saw my credit card as a way to maintain appearances. This revelation led to a lot of tears and recriminations. My mom felt betrayed by my dad's secrecy, my dad felt ashamed of his poor financial decisions, and both of them finally seemed to understand the gravity of what they had done to me. While this explanation doesn't excuse their actions, it did help me understand the desperation that led to their poor choices. The therapist helped us work through some of these issues, and for the first time, I heard genuine apologies from both of my parents. We've agreed to continue family therapy sessions monthly. It's a slow process, and I'm still maintaining firm boundaries, but I feel cautiously optimistic about rebuilding our relationship on healthier terms. Emma has continued to show growth and maturity. She's taken steps to become financially independent, including getting a full-time job and moving into her own apartment. We've been talking more regularly, and I feel like I'm getting to know my sister as an adult for the first time. She's even asked for advice on budgeting and saving, which feels like a significant step forward in our relationship. On the personal front, the relationship I mentioned in my last update has grown into something special. Sarah has been incredibly supportive of my decision to go back to school, even though it means we'll be doing long distance for a while. Her own experiences with setting boundaries with family have made her a valuable source of support and understanding. Financially, I'm in a good place. The promotion I received has allowed me to save up a significant amount for my move and to help offset some of the costs of grad school. I've also become much more assertive about protecting my financial information. I recently had to shut down an attempt by a distant relative to guilt me into co-signing a loan. It wasn't easy, but I stood my ground, and it felt good to enforce my boundaries. As I prepare for this new chapter in my life, I've been reflecting on how much has changed since that first shocking phone call from my mom about the credit card charges. The pain and anger I felt then have largely subsided, replaced by a sense of empowerment and self-assurance I never knew I had. I've learned so much through this experience. I've learned the importance of setting and maintaining boundaries, especially, with family. I've learned that it's okay to prioritize my own well-being and future. And I've learned that true family, whether related by blood or by choice, supports your growth and respects your boundaries. To everyone who's followed my story and offered support and advice along the way, thank you. Your words have been a source of strength and clarity during some very difficult times. To those who might be going through similar family struggles, know that it's possible to come out the other side stronger and wiser. As I pack up my apartment and prepare for this new adventure, I feel a sense of excitement and possibility that I haven't felt in years. I'm proud of how far I've come, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds. I may not update again for a while as I'll be busy with my move and starting school, but I'll always be grateful for the support I've received here. Here's to new beginnings, hard-earned wisdom, and the courage to create the life we want for ourselves.